you have cancer, or have you just finished cancer treatment? Today on Alison McWhinnie podcast, I talk with Nancy Reagan, a skincare expert who gives helpful skincare advice for people currently being treated for cancer, as well as for those who have just finished their cancer treatment. Stay tuned. Hello and welcome back to Alison McWhinnie podcast, where we have conversations about business and well-being success. And today I'm delighted to welcome Nancy Reagan to the podcast show as my guest. And Nancy resides in Boynton Beach, Florida. So it's lovely to be talking to somebody in the United States. So a bit about Nancy. She is a renowned diagnostic esthetician, skincare expert, and spa owner, celebrated for empowering her team and clients to shine with radiant skin, joy, and inner glow. And certainly when we were doing the scoping for this, you could see your radiance really shining through.
Thank you.
Personally. I was quite taken by it. As the founder of her third wildly popular spa and new power-packed Skin Diva Labs skincare, she inspires women to embrace their ageless beauty from within. Her motto is, "Keep going and going, no matter your age." Featured in the New York Times People Style Watch and the recipient of numerous awards, including Best Spa Day in North America, Nancy Reagan is a name that resonates with credibility in the skincare industry. Her unique approach to esthetician care, which reflects her dedication to advanced training and years of experience, is a testament to her recognition and success. Nancy's expertise is deeply embodied in Skin Diva Lab skincare and Bella Reina's exceptional esthetician team. 26 years later, Bella Reina is a nationally recognised beauty spa, and Skin Diva Labs is fast becoming the only choice for vegan skincare with stunning results. Nancy's mission, which she pursues with unwavering dedication, is to empower women to recognise their inner glow, feel confident, and embrace their ageless beauty. Originally from Wilmington, North Carolina, she resides in Boynton Beach, Florida, with her Cavapoo, Henrietta. Very warm welcome, Nancy. And today
Thank
we're
you.
focusing on skincare and cancer, which
Yes.
isn't a topic that's often talked about in the UK, and I think would be very useful for anyone facing that journey and their family as well.
Yes.
So I'd like to start off with your advice, please, on what is the best skincare routine during cancer treatment?
So, um, if somebody is just starting chemo, they're number one, like the emotional part of everything that they're going through, and the cortisol hormone, the stress hormones that your body's going through, in addition to the fact that you're having something go into your body that's foreign, now have created this perfect storm for the most miserable, I should say, for most people, the most miserable skin experience you'll ever have. It's not and it's not like they talk about it when they're getting ready to give you chemo, because the goal is to, hey, let's get the cancer out of you. Let's not make your skin feel good at the same time. And I think people are oftentimes really unprepared for the fact that their face and their whole body is going to be super dry, super dehydrated. And my recommendation is always to make sure that you're topically putting on either something like a hyaluronic acid, but making everything minimalist so that if you're going to have a reaction, if you're going to actually have something that is going to break out because you could get hives, you could get sensitivities, that you're doing something that is so targeted that, oh, I know what it was. It was that cleanser that gave me the redness and all the white little dermatitis spots. And so you know what's going on because at the time where you're going through all this, your body's under so much stress that oftentimes, even though you think, oh, I'm not allergic to anything, all of a sudden you combine menopause, or post-menopause, you combine going through chemo, you combine all these things, and all of a sudden your body is on overload, and it's like, okay, I just can't deal. So our skin is the dumping ground,
Mm.
so it's going to get everything. My approach is take it easy, take it minimalist, try one thing for a week. Just the more you keep your body hydrated from a lipid standpoint. So if your doctor allows you that you're taking omegas from internal so that you have the lubricants, or you're able to eat salmon or avocados or things that are rich in fatty acids, that is going to help your body stay in that mode of keeping the lipids. And English, Irish, we actually don't have a lot of lipids because our skin, where we were born, we were geographically put in the area where we don't really have a lot of lipids, whereas somebody, for example, who was born in Jamaica or in Barbados, their lipid content is super high. I have a friend from Virgin Islands, and she's like, I don't think she'll ever look old because she's got so much lipids in her skin, but it makes a huge difference of internal to external.
Mhm.
If that's a long answer for
No, that's a good answer. It's a very
so
thorough answer. Thank you. Are there any skincare ingredients that should be avoided during chemo and radiation?
I that is my top 10 of why we are even here talking about skincare. Because most skincare brands will have a whole list of toxic ingredients that you really need to avoid when you're going through cancer. That's how I got to, because I was searching for a skincare line that I could use on oncology patients. And when I couldn't find it, I wanted to make sure that it had no toxins, it had no emulsifiers. And by toxins, I mean people are still putting propylene glycol into formulas. They're still putting emulsifiers. They're still putting sodium lauryl sulfate into products. Because the biggest reason it helps oil and water mix.
Hmm.
So a cleanser that's going to be super sudsy is going to need that mix of oil and water. So when that happens, the actual result of it is something that becomes toxic as far as a chemical. And I encourage everyone, take your little cell phone, take it and take a picture of the ingredient list and ask ChatGPT, or there's another environmental working group. It's called EWG. They have an app, and ask them, hey, does this have toxic ingredients? Because your body needs no toxins, no fragrance, no, like nothing, no dyes. So when you're going through anything, and sometimes even essential oils, so, and they can become toxic to you because it's definitely like it's not the right one for your body, or it's too much for you. Even though I love rose, I love lavender, sometimes if you're going through chemo or you're going through cancer, that's going to be too much even for your body. So non-toxic is critical to actually making, number one, being healthy. So that's,
Suppose that goes as far as your regular face wash and making sure
yes,
that it's as gentle as possible
correct.
and checking
Um,
all the ingredients in that even.
the although people don't love it, I prefer to make it a creamier cleanser versus, so you want something that's a milky cleanser versus something that is a sudsy cleanser.
Mhm.
And technically, by the time you're 30, we all should be using creamier cleansers, even though we know sometimes the sudsy feels like, oh, I've done everything to get all the dirt off or the toxins off. It still is the fact that you're like stripping the skin. And when you hurt the skin barrier, it's not just for the face, it's for the body too. So you're affecting it from all angles. So stripping it, even with the cleanser, is not good because the
Good.
skin can't recover.
I understand that chemotherapy can cause rashes and acne-like bumps.
Yes.
What can people do about those?
So when you have the rashes and when you have the acne-like bumps, first, like, please don't scratch and please don't pick, because most of the bumps are going to be from an internal source. So when you have acne per se, you have internal acne and external acne. The internal will have a big giant bump and it will never come to a head, but it's your body's way of expelling what it didn't like. So when you that happens, I'm a huge fan of colloidal silver gel. And that is a healer. It is wonderful. If you cannot find colloidal silver gel, I'll look for aloe. Anything that's going to heal and help that rash. And it's silver, actually, colloidal silver works better because it is antibacterial. So if you do scratch or you do something, it's going to help be antibacterial, but it is wonderful for calming it down and not just once a day. If you need it every hour, put it on every hour.
Mhm. And how should people take care of skin in areas treated with radiation?
Oh, that's a hard one. I just had like a cancer patient that was having trouble healing from, she had had multiple surgeries, and she really was having trouble healing from the radiation that they were undergoing, and it was severe. So what we did, and this, from her standpoint, is we used a topical silver gel. We also put on, when we could, they make these really nice bandages that like actually can cover the area, but it's moist. And if you have, like, find a facial mask, find something that has a yeah, and put that on it, and the combination of the silver and the face mask, that it already has all of the ingredients impregnated. I'm sure you guys seen the face mask that you can put on that already have everything in it. That makes, like, it pushes it into the skin, so it's helping it heal from within. The other thing that worked really well with her was also combining that with LED therapy. So I don't know if you've seen the LED, but there's many kinds. Like, they have the little handheld, which is really hard. I find that the little panels are much easier. If you can find a panel, just make sure that if you're buying one, you want to make sure that you're getting the red light, and it's got to be at the I think it's 640 for the light, so that the light rays are actually going to be working. There's a lot of cheap copies out there, so just make sure you're getting one that's reliable. But the LED light is super wonderful for helping to heal. They use this combination in Miami for at the burn center with the colloidal silver and the LED light and with the light. So it's kind of cool that we've able to transition it to our cancer patients. So it's cool. So
Um,
radiation is no joke
no, no.
at all.
What's the best way to soothe burning or redness after treatment?
That one again, I'm just a I equate silver gel to that Greek movie, my big fat Greek wedding, where the guy walked around with Windex all the time. So to me, the silver gel is like from a healing standpoint, and there are other ingredients, but until the skin can actually heal where you're seeing either very little redness or it's barely red and it's you got to come back together. The only thing you should be putting on there is something that is going to help in healing, and that to me is colloidal silver. There are other ingredients that can help in the healing process. I mean, once the skin has finished healing, there's tons of other ingredients that you can put on, from NAD to which helps with the cell cycle, to methylene blue, which is if it's in a cream, which is a biohacked ingredient that can help with antioxidants, but the skin has to be healed and like not a lot of redness before you can get to that point. That healing process over time, it just takes time to keep on going with the
Sure.
healing.
And what can people do if their skin is peeling on or cracking on their hands and feet?
Okay, so whatever you do, please do not put on a Vaseline petrolatum ointment. Okay, and I say that with all the love I can send, because we are conditioned to believe that that will help dry cracked heels or dry cracked hands. And what it does is when you put something that is like a layer like that over the top of something that's dry, underneath is still going to be dry. Those people that put the lip stuff on all the time and they're constantly doing that, it's not actually penetrating the skin on the lips, or it's not penetrating the hands to help repair and heal. It's only covering the surface. So what's underneath is still dry, it's still cracked. So you need ingredients that are going to penetrate and they're going to actually help with the dryness and the cracking. So that being said, I look for something that has hyaluronic in it. So, and it has to be something that is going to be at a high level of quality for the hyaluronic, because there's tons out there. Again, marketing is fabulous in the skincare industry, but the ones that actually help attract moisture to the skin are going to be of higher level. Once you get hyaluronic on the skin, then when you add in and finding something that has ceramides in it, but a ceramide serum that has all three, like three complex, a multi-complex ceramide, that will help to start adding the lipids and the fatty acids back into the skin. So now we're healing and we're also putting moisture back into the skin. That is so important from the standpoint of healing the dryness. On the bottom of the feet, there is a wonderful German skincare line, skincare foot care line, Gaywall. It's Ghwol. I think that's right. They have, and if you're looking for a foot care product, and everybody goes, oh, I put lotion on my feet. Well, Yeah, I'm gonna have to tell you, it doesn't do any good just to put the lotion on your feet and put socks on because it's gonna stay on the outside, just like a petroleum jelly will. It's not penetrating, especially the bottom of the feet. It will not penetrate. So you need to find something that has an ingredient called urea, and that will penetrate into the feet in order to actually help the following phospho. You need a delivery system that's going to deliver moisturizing agents deep into the skin, and you cannot penetrate without having that.
Is it normal for nails and cuticles to hurt or change color?
Oh, yes. And they're so dry, again, from going through all the chemo, everything being pulled out of the body. The nails hurt. The cuticles feel raw most of the time. There are some fabulous cuticle oils out there that are non-toxic. A wonderful line. I don't know if you have it in England or not, but it's by Dazzle Dry.
Hmm.
But you do in England, there are, I know, some wonderful skincare nail lacquer lines and polishes that I'm not a big fan when you're going through any kind of chemo that you're putting gels or acrylics on, but you need to be putting those oils into the cuticles every night
Right,
because it helps to actually, well, it helps the nail bed, but you have to your hair, your nails, they are a direct manufacturing process of your body. And when your body's under attack from the chemo, your nails and your hair are not going to be of the best quality
sure,
because it's fighting everything else.
sure.
So giving it moisture and giving that like argan oil, there's usually wonderful blends. There's squalane. Squalane you can either get plant-based or an animal-based. It comes from sharks, or it also is plant-based if you're a vegan. So you can look either one of those oils are wonderful for if you don't just, find another oil made just for the cuticles, but it works amazing.
Wonderful. Particularly at this time of hotter summers, I think some protection is important to look at. Um, People going through cancer treatment, do they need a special sunscreen?
Um, I'm going to say sunscreen is a bed of toxins for the most part. If you are going to use sunscreen, I would recommend that you find something that is either titanium dioxide based, and it could be microionized, which means they mill the titanium several times in order to make it so it doesn't look like white on your face. Or go with zinc oxide. If you're looking for, like, you're out in the sun, you're doing something where you're going to get that sun. The other part of going through chemo is sometimes you are more sun sensitive than you would be if you had not gone through. So using a mineral-based makeup that has a natural SPF of between 20 and 22. Minerals actually reflect the sun, so it's really nice when you are, looking at putting on your daily makeup. If you're using a mineral foundation, or it's a natural one, unless you're really doing something that requires you to be outdoors and you need sunblock, I would say go for the titanium dioxide. There are a few sun care lines, but the more we find out, the more we find that we're still looking at toxins. And you just don't need any more toxins in your body if you don't have to.
No. I mean, is it safe to be out in the sun whilst getting chemo and radiation?
I'm going to like reserve that for your doctor, but I'm going to like my best like nature is a healer.
Mm.
I believe that you really should have your 15 minutes every day of some kind of sunlight, no matter where you are. And if you don't have it, that you're at least sitting outside in nature, because I believe it helps to fuel your your meditative state, how you feel spiritually, and that vitamin D that you need
Yeah,
because most of us are deficient in vitamin D. And like from a English Irish heritage, we also have the inability to absorb vitamin Bs correctly. So this whole makeup of not being able to have our vitamins absorbed correctly or the vitamin D, I think the sun is a fabulous thing to have to give us happiness. Like it gives you some glow. It gives you a little bit of a boost.
maybe choose your time of day for going out and not go out in the
Exactly.
day sun. Um, Turning to cosmetics, can people who are being treated for cancer still wear makeup? And if so, what kind is safe?
That is going to be a yes for the makeup. From my knowledge in the United States, there's only one brand that I recommend, and that one is Jane Iredale. She has been around for many, many, many years, I think almost 30 years in the United States. She came as a medical-based skincare line for actually at the time it was for women that were doing plastic surgery, and they were having heavy duty lasers and or chemical peels, and so they would need to like recover because they were spending 2 or 3 weeks. But now, as it's as clean as you can get from a foundation standpoint. Also, there's another brand called Color Lab. It is in the UK. It is a custom blend foundation, so it can be matched directly for you, but it's another non-toxic makeup line that is wonderful, made with minerals again, that are is not going to put toxins in your body.
I understand that cancer treatment can lead to changes in skin tone, discoloration, dark spots. What's your advice on dealing with these?
Okay, so I'm going to say this with all the love in the world. When you look in the mirror, we look in the mirror, and most of the time, I don't know, I'm sitting there with my 10x mirror, like up there like that, looking at it, going, oh my God, look at that. Most people are not looking, we're looking at us from a 2 to 3 foot. If they're in your space, they need to get out anyway. So, what you see as your imperfection of your brown spot is focus on getting through your chemo, and then afterwards, you can really focus on getting rid of the brown spots. There are many lightening agents out there that if you choose to like still focus on it while you're going through the cancer, something with niacinamide is going to help lift the pigmentation. Something with licorice, mulberry. There's an acid out there that's malic. There's a couple of different ways that you can approach the brown spots. It depends on how deep they are as to whether or not you can, like, it's almost like busting them up. And as you're busting them up, you have to feed them vitamins at the same time because you're trying to bust up the pigmentation and then actually feed the new skin cells down below so that they don't come up with melanin, which is damaged, that it's damaged to the skin that you're getting the discoloration. And the reason I encourage people to wait is because as you're going through the treatment, you don't know how far the melanin's going to go. Can you be using skincare like while you're going through? Yes. Can it be preventative? Yes. But at the same time, you don't know how far it's going to, the actual color or the spots, is it going to get darker or is it going to stay where it is? You can do preventative. I mean, if you have products that have niacinamide, if you have products that have NAD, those ingredients and others, there's CoQ10, but all of that is going to help pull up and lighten the actual pigmentation. But I encourage people not to focus on that. I want to see you focus on how beautiful you are and how well you're going to be at the end of your everything. So you're kind of looking at using alternative with your Western medicine
Sure.
of chemo.
Does skin go back to normal after treatment?
It takes a little while for most, and it also depends on how they have cared for their skin while they've gone through treatment and how they have cared for their body. So the people that have eaten well and are really like on top of keeping, they're not getting a burger, cheeseburger and fries and drinking a lot of sodas. They're actually going and really eating organic and taking really good care of themselves. Their skin pops back so much better than the ones that have still are eating processed food and not really changing the way they're eating, because the eating matters more than the
Mm.
actual what you're putting on your face. Honestly,
So it's
it
what you
makes a
put
huge difference.
inside you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It makes it's that is more of a game changer to the topical skin almost than anything, especially for long term. So if you're ending your chemo and 3 months later, you have to remember, a year later we have all new cells in our body. So your skin has a chance to constantly be cycling. So the more you walk, the more you do whatever you can, the better your body is going to be with all the energy levels. And our body has these energy, it's called mitochondria. Mitochondria are what gives our body the ability to send all of the good stuff to the body. So when that happens, you want to make sure that you're feeding it good so that your skin does return as fast as possible.
I'd like to turn to infections and safety during cancer treatment. What should people do if they get a cut or a blister or an open sore?
Silver gel. No, I'm just, I'm not a medical person, but I'm a big proponent on making sure that you have your stuff like, and it's the same with for women is when they don't take care of their feet and you're getting to even going through cancer and you have those cracks in your heels and those are germs coming in your body and your body is fighting something else. Your body's fighting hard to get rid of the cancer. So you have to give it some tools. And I'm a big proponent of making sure that whatever you have on hand, you have that first aid ability to immediately help to stop the germs.
Have you any tips for lowering the risk of skin infections whilst the immune system is weak?
Um, I personally, you gotta eat well. You have to, like, your body is, when they say your body is a temple, they were so right
Yeah.
because literally what our body does every day, and like I watch people that eat processed foods and I watch them, they smoke, they drink, they eat processed foods. They're going through chemo and they're not changing any part of their world. And they want to be better and they want to live, but they're not giving the body the tools that it needs. And I just think that be like you have this one chance to have a beautiful life and to have it and to still maintain what you want to have. You don't like you have choices, and I really think you're part of that choice is eating well, taking care of making sure you're active, making sure that you're taking care of yourself first and foremost to give your body all of the tools and everything that it needs
Mm.
to be the best it can be at any age.
Is it safe to have facials, manicures, or waxing during treatment, or should those be left until after treatment?
So this is my recommendation is you need somebody, first and foremost, you need somebody to touch you. So, massages are always something that you have to get a doctor referral for, but having a facial and having the relaxation is it's good for the mind, it's good for the face, it's good for the whole like being. Where I would make a recommendation on nails is that you don't let them cut cuticles. Well, you shouldn't cut your cuticles anyway, but you should push back, but never cut. So just make sure if you're doing nails and never ever dip, like like no dip, no gel, no acrylics. I know they're gorgeous. I know they're fabulous, but you need natural nails. Any toxins on nail polish that are on the toes or on the hands, the toxins are in your body in 10 minutes, literally. They have done the test, it's researched, and I'm just like, don't do it. I know it's like it makes a huge difference, but there are fabulous alternatives. So that's my nails. Waxing, I think, is something that you will have to see how your skin is. Sometimes the skin will be too thin and sometimes it'll be too dry. So the waxing part of it becomes a how are you handling the chemo and is your skin going to take it? And I'm a big patch test person, so always test and see if you're going to have trouble and then the technician always let them know what's happening because it's huge to like you don't want to be compromising the skin at all.
What's your view on natural or herbal skincare products? Will they interfere with treatment?
Okay, natural is a big, natural and clean are two overused words in the skincare industry. So if you see the word natural, it doesn't always mean that it's natural.
Right.
So I still encourage you to check that ingredient list to make sure it doesn't have toxins in it. Natural isn't as much an issue because I mean, yes, it could have toxins, but also more so is essential oils. So the essential oil is sometimes oh, well, so and so made this in her house and it's fabulous, and she's made lavender and everything like that. Yes, should we have it made in a lab? If you're going to try something, I want it to be at a level where they know the toxicity of the essential oil. So that's what I'm always like worried about.
Mm.
So your body is overly sensitized to other things coming at you. So you could have used a lavender or a rose, and now all of a sudden you're breaking out with dermatitis because it's too much for your body with the chemo. Again, I just like do a little test and see, but it's not. It's not something I think you should add as another overload to your body.
Sure. I'd like to look now at after cancer treatment has finished and rebuilding skin after cancer treatment. Now, we've touched on cancer treatment, particularly chemo, introducing a lot of toxins into the body.
Mhm.
What happens to those toxins and how long does it take for the body to get rid of them all?
Again, I'm not the doctor expert on this. I do know from my cancer friends and that run different cancer groups that you're looking at anywhere from 3 months to a year to 2 years, depending on how active you are, your lifestyle, what you're eating, and how you're treating your body. I know that the people that do, for example, they're eating really well, they're doing infrared saunas, they are doing all of these extra IVs, they're doing everything extra, they are recovering faster and they are in much better shape because they're fueling the body again. They're giving the body like great things. So the body is like reacting and going, oh, okay, this is super. Whereas somebody who is not, it makes a difference and it makes a difference when they're going through it. It makes a difference if they're done. One of my like really good friends, Owen, and he has a cancer support group. It's Cancer Thriver Owen, if anybody's interested. But he it was very big on the vegan keto diet, and he has been through enough. He had stage 4 cancer and decided to overcome it. And he can tell you all of how he went through all of his steps to overcome it. But it is a huge part of even the recovery is what you eat, how you take care of yourself, from the sauna to going for a walk to meditation to all of those things, our spirituality, everything that makes a part of who we are. Yeah, our happiness.
Sure. Is there a particularly good skincare routine for healing post treatment?
Keeping it super simple. I, of course, know my brand, Skin Diva, really well, but you want to make sure that you are not stripping the skin. So you want a creamy cleanser. You want a hyaluronic toner. You want a serum that is going to have a delivery system that's going to send all of the great ingredients deep into the skin so that the skin can heal. And then you need a cream, again, that is protective from the environment and also healing. And when it heals the skin, then you get to see things start to happen. And we say, like stops aging, but it stops the actual like problems with the skin. So we're not seeing the fine lines. We're not seeing because the dryness and the dehydration are so prevalent. Once you are giving it all the ingredients that you're not dry and dehydrated, all of a sudden the pallor of your face and the glowiness makes a difference because now you have elasticity and firmness in the skin.
And I suppose what we touched on before in terms of the sun would still apply after treatment, i.e.,
Yes,
good to have
yes.
sun, but just be very careful about
Mhm.
timing and exposure and not go out in the midday heat wave.
No, especially nobody should be out in the midday heat at all anyway. Especially like South Florida, where I am, definitely. But you do need that morning or late afternoon. It's good for you. It's
Yeah.
good and healthy.
Um, what can people do for scars from surgery or radiation or any other treatments? Do you recommend
Um,
anything for those?
yes, I do. I there there are some very expensive bandages that some work and some don't. I encourage you to keep it moist as you're starting the healing process. It's hyaluronic, making sure that you have peptide serum or multiple peptide serums on top of the skin. Those are your two best from a healing standpoint to get that to and the ceramide. So literally hyaluronic peptides, ceramide. The more you push down on a scar as you're healing, and they make silicone patches, the more it flattens out the scar. So the scar actually, I mean, I have like no scar from having thyroid cancer. So it literally flattens out the scar because of putting pressure. And it doesn't have to be heavy duty silicone, but silicone will help to flatten that scar so that you don't have that raised bump. Once you have the scar healed and it has been healed for probably, and depending on the tenderness and where it is, and if you decide you want to make it really, really go away, you can do things like light microneedling to actually start to help the cells like make it go away. I mean, I've worked on dog bites, I've worked on all kinds of different scars that help to regenerate the cells around it. The older the scar, the harder it is, but the newer the scar, the better it is, so that you can really make it just disappear.
Do you recommend that survivors of cancer see a dermatologist regularly or skincare expert as part of their recovery process once treatment is finished?
I always think, okay, you definitely need your dermatologist for your once a year checkup, no matter what. It is part of having check, especially if you've had any sun. From a skincare standpoint, my belief is once a month you need that facial simply because not only does it help you feel amazing, and when you feel good here, everything else kind of falls into place. That's how I look at it because life isn't easy, and it's not easy when you're going through cancer, and it's not easy on a day-to-day basis. And even what we're surrounded with, and it gives you time to have your mind quiet for a little bit, and you have peace. And if the music is playing and somebody is massaging your face and they're actually helping to but like get I of course like results, you're getting better skin than when you walked in the door. That to me is gives my clients and anybody that extra little push to go when you look in the mirror. And most of us are so critical when we look in the mirror and we're like, oh, look at that, oh, I'm aging here, or I'm feeling really old today, oh wow, I look really tired. The things that we say to ourselves is so horrific, but having that facial and looking in the mirror and simply having that, oh my God, that's not bad. It makes a huge difference. I've had clients of all ages. My favorite are the ones that are over 75 that are like either doing it like every month just to feel great, or they're getting ready for a really big occasion like a granddaughter's wedding, or I have one getting ready for a 90th birthday. And she has literally done absolutely nothing to her skin until a year ago. That was it. She was out in the sun. She never used sunscreen. She played tennis her whole life and she had never done anything. She's hilarious. She comes by every week to say, "Hey, look, is it looking better?" It's fabulous because it's given her a purpose of, "Hey, my skin's going to look better than ever." And I think we need that. We need our hugs. We need encouragement. All of us do, no matter what, because it's part of the fact that we don't actually get this from anywhere else in society unless you have like a really fabulous husband or wife or so you don't really get that from our normal day to day. So to me it's kind of like that extra boost that we all need.
I understand that nails, eyebrows, and eyelashes can grow back differently. Do you have any
Hmm.
advice for that kind of situation?
The biggest thing I can say is to make sure that you keep them nourished. So make sure that your nails don't let them get dry. Make sure that they stay nice and nourished and that you're feeding them. Like even the lashes, they make wonderful lash serums. So make sure that you're feeding them great lash serums. Same with the hair, that you're putting it up and you're putting oils on your hair to give it the nourishment that it needs. All of that will help it grow back healthier, and from every standpoint.
And what if somebody is experiencing lingering sensitivity or itching or nerve-related skin pain after treatment has stopped? Do you have any tips for that?
Um, the bounce back pain can occur because of nerve damage. That is a doctor thing, but anytime you're allowed to massage the area, it will help reroute the massage helps to reroute what is like been cut off. So I know that, like our women that have the hysterectomies and this, and I know from experience that you will have this random pain and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, where'd that come from? But the more you massage that area, it will start to reroute the little vessels.
We're coming to the end of our chat now. Have I left anything out that you would like to share with viewers?
I don't think so. You're so thorough with your questions. It's like, it's fabulous. It really is.
Which takes me to how can people find out more about your services and get in contact with you?
We are on YouTube, and I would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. It's Skin Diva Labs, DIVA LABS. So that is one way, or our website is skindivalabs.com. And feel free if you have a question, if I can help. I'm always on and available. I try to do lives from time to time, so if you have any questions, don't hesitate.
Thank you so much for guesting
Thank you.
podcast. This has been an incredibly helpful chat, I feel, for people going through a very difficult time in their
Mhm.
lives. And I think that the wisdom that you have shared will be so helpful to people who are in that group and also for their families as well. Because when someone gets cancer, it's not just the person who has the cancer, it's the people around them who love them and care
Right.
for them too. Um,
Exactly.
so thank you so much for coming on today. Really interesting conversation that I think will reach far and wide. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison.